Hey guys, Neil here from Neon Black Reviews, and today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on Sinners. Sinners is a 2025 supernatural horror film. It was directed by Ryan Coogler, and it stars Michael B. Jordan, Miles Caton, and Saul Williams. Before we get into this review, I do need to give out a warning for you guys that have not at least seen the trailers for this film. If you've seen the film, you're going to be fine. But if you haven't seen at least the trailers for the film or read up on kind of what the film is about, then I will be discussing a spoiler because it's going to be pretty much impossible for me to give you my thoughts on the film without talking about something that happens about the halfway point of this film. So if you don't know what that is, I strongly urge you to just pause the video, come back to it after you have seen the film, and get my thoughts on the film after you've seen it. So there you go. If you continue on and you haven't seen the film or the trailers yet, you're proceeding at your own risk. So like I said, Sinners is a 2025 supernatural horror film, but it doesn't start out that way. The movie is 2 hours and 17 minutes long. So yeah, for a horror film, it is quite an investment in time, but I do think it's really worth it. The first half of this film, it centers on two brothers. They are known as the Smokestack Brothers because one is known as Smoke and the other is known as Stack. And it takes place in the Deep South, specifically a small town in Mississippi, in the early 1930s. Now, the backstory on the Smokestack Brothers is they left their hometown. I believe it says in the film at least once that they served in the First World War. And then after that, they traveled around a little bit, ended up in Chicago, where they have been, I guess when the movie starts, they have been there for the past 6 or 7 years or so. And what they were doing in Chicago was probably not on the up and up when it comes to the law. But anyway, they are bringing back a large amount of cash that they either got from ill-gotten means or they just flat out stole it. I don't remember the details. I've only seen the film once. I watched it last night. But anyway, they're coming back home to just kind of start anew, to come back to, where they're from, this small town in Mississippi. And they've bought an old sawmill that's no longer in use, and they're going to turn it into a juke joint. So that's the basic idea for the first half of this film, like I said. And it's not until about the halfway mark that all the supernatural stuff happens. But anyway, for this first hour or so, we're basically just following them around for a day while they get things in place to be able to open this juke joint later that night. They're finding somebody to, to handle the food, handle the bar, things like that. And it's a pretty interesting little journey. This film serves as an accurate period piece for what life was like here in the Deep South in the early 1930s, specifically for African Americans. Now, if you know anything at all about history, you know that this was not our proud, shining moment in history. It wasn't for a long time that we even made any progress at all. So it's like I said, it's an accurate depiction of what people went through back during this time, and I found it to be very interesting. It kind of confirms, I guess, a little bit what I have been taught throughout my life. I'm 54 years old. So, even into the 60s and 70s, there was a lot of racial turmoil in this country. I mean, there still is, but it was, if you can believe it, even worse, several decades ago. And I did live through that period briefly, as well as my parents grew up with it pretty much. And my grandparents, one of them even served in World War II. So, it was not a great time in history, and this film really brings that out. That is, part of the themes of this film, but the main theme of the film has to do with music. When the film opens, we get some narration talking about the power of music, and as we get into the film, we see that they are specifically referring to the blues. Now, me as a metalhead, I don't listen to a lot of blues music, but I do know a little bit about it, and I found it interesting, to learn even more through this film. So that was one of the things that I enjoyed about it. And if you don't know a whole lot about the blues and you do watch the film, hopefully you'll know a little bit more, but definitely take it up on your own time to go and read about, its history, where it came from and what it actually means. Again, it falls right in line with this theme throughout the film of the power of music, what it means to people, how they use it in their daily lives to help get through some pretty tough times. So it's definitely an interesting history. And again, this film helps bring that out. And like I said, this film starts out like it's, just a period piece, just showing, how things were, 70 and 90 years ago. So yeah, 95 years ago, almost 100 years ago here in the Deep South, which is where I've lived all of my life. I live in Alabama. But this film takes place in Mississippi. There's not a whole lot of difference between the two, trust me. But anyway, about the halfway point, it takes a turn. It starts going off in a completely different direction than where it started. Because just, there's one scene that kind of, gets you, it doesn't come just as a complete and total shock. There is one scene about halfway through where we are introduced to what this element is going to be. And then later that night, when the juke joint is open and in full swing, everybody's drinking and dancing and doing a little gambling and just having a great time. And then, boom, vampires. Yeah, that's right. There are vampires in this film. And it's a pretty interesting little twist when it happens. But because of that, obviously, as I was watching it, it reminded me a lot of From Dusk Till Dawn. Not that the two films have a lot of similarity in what actually happens in the film, but they're structured basically the same way. From Dusk Till Dawn starts out going in one direction. It spends a lot of time, with that storyline till they get to a bar out in the middle of nowhere in Mexico, and then boom, vampires, and the thing just goes off in a completely different direction. But Sinners is a much darker tone. It's a much more serious tone than From Dusk Till Dawn. And what actually happens in the film, obviously, is just completely and totally different. So I'm not saying it's a ripoff. I'm just saying it reminded me structurally of, how that film kind of went. Yeah, and when the vampires show up, they're mean and they're nasty, but they're after something. They're not just, randomly there. They have a purpose why they came to this place that night. And if you watch the film, you'll see what that is. And believe it or not, it does follow along in the theme of music. If you really pay attention, to what's being said and what's going on, you'll realize that, yeah, there was actually just a purpose. They were not randomly just out for blood, and this is the people that they stumbled upon. So I found that also very interesting, how they were able to tie vampires into this film and actually make it make sense. So yeah, hats off to Ryan Coogler, and yeah, he also wrote the film. So yeah, hats off to him for just creating I won't say a good little world, because this is not a happy film. It's really not. You can't make a film that's truly about the blues and life in the Deep South that long ago and have the film be happy, but it does have its moments. But yeah, I think they did a great job with the story. These themes that they're dealing with obviously are very important even today. It's not, a retro film in that sense. What they're talking about in the film is still quite relevant and something that we definitely need to pay attention to. The acting is great. The Smokestack brothers are identical twins, and both of them are played by Michael B. Jordan, so that obviously they look alike. And he did a great job. Some of the scenes in this film, I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, it would be really hard, first of all, just to shoot it and edit it together so that you've got, two people, or what looks like two people when they're actually the same person, but to be able to act to yourself, basically, that's got to be hard to do. And I really enjoyed the performance. But the performance is all around. There's some great characters in this film. some people that I really liked, so I was definitely invested in it. So yeah, overall, I just thought this was just a good, great, or not. I haven't seen it enough to say if it's great or not, but it was definitely very good. I guess what I don't want to say that this was an entertaining, enjoyable film to watch, because it's really not, because of the subject matter. I mean, you can't just say, oh, that was a fun ride. But it was enjoyable in the sense that I was interested in the film, and I'm glad I took the time to sit down and watch it. So if you haven't seen Sinners yet and you're still here, with all these spoilers, yeah, definitely take the time to watch it. Don't let that long run time of 2 hours and 17 minutes kind of hold you back. It really doesn't feel that long. I mean, the first part of the film is kind of a slow burn, in the sense that, you know, nothing is happening from a horror perspective. I mean, the way that it's shot, sometimes it does kind of give you the feel to kind of, you know, at least subconsciously remind you that you are watching a horror film. But it's just an interesting story, especially, like I said, with it involving the blues, you know, the power of music. So I really did enjoy this film. It's a film that I can see myself definitely coming back to watch at some point. So if you've already seen Sinners, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about it. I definitely like to hear what you guys have to say. And before you head out, guys, if you would, smash that thumbs up for me. That like helps the video out here on the YouTube platform, and I certainly appreciate you doing that for me. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do that as well. Just tap on that subscribe button down there, hit the bell next to it, and turn on those notifications, and that way you'll never miss a review. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you.